Welcome back to the Alpha Queen podcast with Monster Verde.
The co-host, the fifth official Nick here, guys.
And it's me, Sean, the security guard slash the producer.
We are back after a 2-2 draw against Indy 11 this past week in our home opener. And personally, in my opinion, the draw felt like a win, especially after that second half performance, which we'll get into in a second. But yeah, it was a different game. It was a much different game, like tactics wise, formation wise. This was the first game we saw in the USL Championship where we were not dominating in possession like this. Obviously Motown, we did dominate possession, but that was expected. But this essentially, and I think you guys can all agree, Indy played how we play typically, counter attacking, not having the ball, and just playing it up the field and praying. So we'll go into the lineups of the Indy game. First, we'll just say Hartford. Nothing changes really. Anthony Siaha in goal, Arturo Dispe, Jordan Scarlett, Britton Fisher, Beverly Macangila, Sebastian Anderson, Matt Real, Junior Moreira, Hernandez, Anaku, and Williams. Sadat playing. I was very happy to see that. Obviously, he scored a goal. That made me really happy that he scored. I think who predicted that last podcast? Was that you, Sean?
Sean Santiago Tilton, the soccer genius. I knew Sadat Adaku was going to score a goal. I didn't, but I hoped. I told you guys I was manifesting it. It happened in that moment. I felt like a genius. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good prediction. So to start off the game, Sadat almost scored in the fifth minute. If you guys remember that, he really it was a really good chance. If you guys haven't watched the game, or I would definitely pick up on the highlights. But it was in the fifth minute. I think in the sixth minute, he could have easily scored a goal. Dick just made a really good save. And the first half, we didn't see, like I was saying earlier, we didn't see a typical Hartford. We had the ball, we had possession, we were making the decisions. We weren't counterattacking, kicking the ball up the field. We dribbled and passed into the middle of the field. We did that for the first time this season, except for Motown, where we just controlled the game and played our game. Played a different game. I can't say played our game, but we played better. Personally, I know I said this last podcast. This is our best first half of the season. Was this game, not the Brooklyn game? I know, yes, Brooklyn we scored 2 goals, but that was again we were counterattacking. We didn't have the ball as much. Indy 11, we dominated them in the first half. Sadat Anaku scored in the 33rd minute, and it was a really good goal, outside the box goal. What happened? Arturo Dispe grabbed the ball from our own half, dribbled up the middle of the field, and passed it straight to Sadat. Sadat was wide open, so why not? He took a shot, perfect shot, really fast shot, because Eric Dick had no chance to respond to it, and he scored 1-0 Hartford, and we were booming. We were so happy. So that was really the first half. All I want to say before I move on to the second half and let you guys comment is I took some notes from the game, and I want to know what you guys think of it, if you guys like me taking these notes or not. But I want to point out that Augie Williams' touches were absolutely fantastic. Every single touch that he made in the first half, even in the second half, they were phenomenal. He made, like, I think, two bad touches. Beverly and Jordan Scarlett, such a better game. Much better game. I've really been harsh on them this season, and you guys know this. Beverly and Jordan Scarlett were great defensively, but you can tell, especially in the second half, we were missing Carriaga or Coffee on the offensive side of the ball. But defensively, especially in our own half, Beverly was fantastic this game. Hernandez was well in the first half, but in the second half he couldn't get any balls past the defender. So he really probably was the worst player of the game for me on and on in Hartford for Hartford. But Sadat was man of the match for me. He was absolutely unbelievable. And personally, he has a spot for me in the starting 11 after this game. I don't know where he's gonna play if when Mishi's healthy, but you can't drop Augie and you cannot drop Sadat right now. Sadat, if you guys paid attention, you watched the game and you just paid attention to Sadat, like I was right behind the away bench, like always. He was running back and forth, up and down the field, side to side, putting pressure, sprinting. He was sprinting for 90 minutes. He was sprinting. I love Mishi with all my heart. He's my favorite player on this team. But Mishi will never do that. He will do that for maybe 30 minutes. Beckford, when he was here, he never did that. Adi Obalola, he can't do that for 90 minutes. Even when Momo was here, he wasn't putting pressure like that up and down. Sadat is dangerous. He needs to start every single game when if he's healthy. If he's healthy like what we just saw, he was fucking phenomenal. My next kind of note from the game, and this is a question to the fans and to you two, with and I should maybe have asked this afterwards, but with Britton Fisher's two costly mistakes on the goals, because I'll get into it in the second half, but he made two real big mistakes. Do we drop him and bring on TJ now? Now is the time to give TJ a full blown chance in the USL because he made two really bad errors. So Sean, I'll let you answer that question first, and then Bozzy, you'll go next.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from the beginning of the season, I was a little disappointed not to have TJ starting or playing much at all. I would like to see him. I mean, I think Fisher's a good player, but I think, and I have felt continually because I haven't seen anything that really pushes me in any other direction. I still feel that TJ is the better player. Um, I think he needs to play. I think he's really our guy too, which does matter. Culture does matter. And not that Fisher is adverse to the culture, but like TJ is our guy. He's proved himself so many times. I think that he deserves at least a few games and a shot to like really make it back into the squad this year. Because I think he thought that this year was going to be his year, and to see him on the bench is definitely a little disappointing for everyone.
I can't. I don't know because it could be part of the loan thing about Fisher. He has to start certain amount of games for the loan thing, so there's a reason why Fisher's starting early to get the loan deal. Like Minnesota could have said he needs to at least start 10 games to let him start the first five now, then play a couple games. We don't know about the loan deal. It could be like part of the wage thing. If he starts 10 games, we pay less of wage. Who knows? We don't know. And honestly, TJ's on the bench is not bad because still both, to be honest, both of them are still new to USL. Still young guys, about the same age, so they're still learning together.
I understand what you're saying. I can't disagree. I can't disagree with you. I understand what you're saying 100%. Just TJ Prestis, he's played two games this season. He did play 90 minutes against Brooklyn, but and he played 90 minutes against Motown, which he scored a goal in. And I just personally, I need to have him have more minutes. I do agree with what you said, Sean. He fits this team very well, and maybe Britton Fisher is playing because of this loan contract agreement, whatever you want to call it. But Britton Fisher maybe also is playing because he's much taller. He's more dangerous set piece guy. But TJ Prestis was great in the box. He's a great presence defensively, offensively, no matter what. So yeah, I really don't know. Maybe I should have asked Brendan that question, but maybe there's an injury we don't know about. Who knows? So before we go into the second half, before I let you guys comment on anything else, I'm just gonna quickly run through the first half stats. So we have 0.45 expected goals for Hartford, 0.83 for Indy. Ball possession, which was new this time, like we said, 64% possession to Hartford, 36% to Indy. Five total shots for Hartford, eight for Indy, two and two on target. Both had one big chance. We had two corner kicks to Indy's one. 83% pass. Um, I'm sorry, 83% pass completion to 71% pass completion for Indy, and one yellow card. Which that yellow card, by the way, I was screaming for a red card because that was a tackle from behind, and yeah, that was a pretty poor tackle. But it wasn't a red card. I was just heated in the moment.
I'm honestly surprised that we only scored one goal in the first half. I actually don't disagree with Nick. I think it might have been our best half of play. It feels kind of uncomfortable to see them hold the ball for such, there were some really, really long stretches where we were just like kicking the ball around. The only thing that frustrated me a little bit is that we were finally, and I mentioned this way back talking about like preseason or whatever. This is one of the main goals is to work on the development of play through the midfield. We finally saw that, but it felt like there was less of a reception in the box. The ball was getting up really well, and then over and over and over, as soon as it would get into the box, we would all of us. It felt like everyone kind of stepped back a little bit, which there were some moments where I really thought should have been productive, at least led to a shot on goal, that just kind of fizzled away. And I think that was a little bit disappointing. Overall, very good half. It's very nice to see us holding on to the ball a little bit. Although I think to hold on to it that much, I mean, if you look back to last year, almost every game where we had more than 50% possession, we lost. I think there has to be an in between though, you know. I think I'm happy to have more possession, but we should also play the way that we're used to playing to some extent.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a saying that possession doesn't win the game. So honestly, I don't care about possession at the end of the day, you know? As long as we win, you know? I would have to say is someone like get the referee was not the worst referee in the league we had was going to the game was Elton Garcia. So there was some calls that should have been called on us or calls that should have been called on the other team that didn't get called. Typical Elton Garcia, you know. Honestly, the first half was a pretty good half. I think the wind didn't play. The wind played a very big factor. That wind played a very big factor in that game, especially towards the second half. Honestly, the atmosphere felt good, especially as the supporters. Except the only downside, because I know people from the front office is listens to podcasts. Tell security to not take our smoke bombs, please. We're allowed to use smoke bombs. Let's use smoke bombs. Don't take the smoke bombs away from the supporters. It looks bad on TV. It looks bad. Like you're disrespecting us to sport. It's not legal. It's legal in the state of Connecticut. Bruce told us that he'll pay the fines every time we let smoke bombs. So let's use the smoke bombs. Do not take it halfway for the bomb. You know.
Okay. That's I actually didn't know that happened to you guys. I'm sorry about that. That's pretty messed up. So going into the second half, I'll go over the summary and the stats, and then I'll let you guys comment. But this is kind of the opposite of the first half again. The second half we played pretty poor, and this was mainly because Indy 11 changed formation. They completely changed their tactics, their formation, everything. They made a second half substitution right at the beginning, and Metrano came on for Singh, and they scored literally 2 minutes later. And it was a really bad defensive mistake by Brenton Fisher. It was a 3-on-2, and Lindley was running down the field, or no, not Lindley, sorry. It was another Indy 11 player running down the field, holding the ball, taking a sweet time to dribble down the field. And Britton Fisher didn't bite. He didn't put pressure on him. He just kept walking back, and letting him come deeper and deeper. And he was holding the ball up for more players to come into the box. That's exactly what he did. He passed it off and he crossed into the box, and it was a goal, open guy, back post. That was Britton Fisher's goal, and I think he even apologized to Siaha afterwards. He was like, "Yeah, that's on me." To give him that much space, to have a player have the ball for like 8 seconds running down our wing, that's pretty bad. So that it's 1-1 right there. Another goal that we conceded, that's a mistake, and Michi and Galena came on at the 63rd minute for Hernandez, which I love that substitute, by the way. I was praying. I was like, please don't take off Sadat or Augie. They're playing fucking phenomenal. Do not take them off. Please take like Hernandez off. And that's exactly what he did. And I love that substitution. That was a good sub. 66-minute yellow card for Indy. And then Indy made a substitution at the 71st minute for Thomas to come on for Masvani. And then in the 72nd minute, again, Thomas just came on the field. He has a cross into the box, and it's a really good cross. I won't discredit. I think it was Sebastian Anderson or Dispay that was defending him. That I don't think that was their mistake. They were defending him quite well. It was just a phenomenal cross into the box and back post. Britton Fisher again was late to follow the man, and the goal was 2-1 2-1 Indy. And yeah, that was it was child mistakes. You need to cover that man running into the box. I can't believe he didn't see that. I was pissed. I was screaming. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You let those two goals like that, both on your fault." And funny enough, they actually give him a pretty good rating in the out of 10. So that's ironic. But yeah, so it was 2-1, 72nd minute, and then Christos came on for Junior Moreira, who Junior Moreira looked okay in the game. Beverly got a yellow card at the 82nd minute, and then Kiza came on at the 84th minute. And then at the 87th minute, there was a chance in the box. I think Mishi crossed it in. Yeah, I think it was Mishi actually. He crossed it in, did perfect cross, and it was a like a spill in the box. And Augie Williams got a hold of the ball, and Augie Williams did everything perfect. He did everything perfectly. He didn't rush the shot at all. He grabbed the ball, took a touch, took the shot, and for the life of me, I don't know who it was. I think it actually was Thomas, the guy that got substituted on. He cleared the ball off the line. A phenomenal goal line clearance. And save of the week should honestly not go to a goalie this week, personally. But yeah, that was a phenomenal goal line clearance. What happens after that goal line clearance? We have a corner, and we cross it into the box, and it hits off O'Brien's like head. I think it was. It was a crazy own goal, and yeah, it made it 2-2. And then Arturo Dispe made, like you said last podcast, Bozzy. Arturo Dispe made a really stupid foul in the end of the game, and it didn't cost us, fortunately. And Mishi had a chance at the end of the game. He thinks he got fouled, but they didn't call it, and that was the end of 2-2. One thing I did forget, there was a shout for a penalty at the 80th minute. I think it was Jordan Scarlett. I honestly didn't see the foul. There was people that stood up right in front of me, and I didn't see it, and they didn't show a replay of it. And after looking at the replay on the I watched the game ESPN Plus, it was 50-50. It was a hard tackle. He definitely got ball, but he also got man. Like it's one of those calls where it could go both ways. It really could, depending on how you look at it. Alton Garcia, I wouldn't have discredited him whatsoever if he called it or not. He actually refed pretty well. He's been refing us pretty shitly. I think he's a pretty bad ref, but apparently the USL thinks he's a really good ref. Ironic, he was actually on my flight. I said I gave him some feedback, but nothing negative. I just said this was one of his more positive, way more better games that he's refed us, and he actually said, "Hey man, I always appreciate feedback." So that was cool. He was on my flight to Texas, so the game ended in a 2-2 tie, and I'll just read second half stats really quick, and I'll let you guys comment. So second half stats was Indy 11, 1.32 expected goals to our 0.70. 65% ball possession for us, 35% for them. We had 5 total shots, 2 for Indy, 2 shots on target for Indy, 1 for us. We had 1 big chance. Indy had 2. We had 3 corner kicks to Indy's 1. 80% pass completion to 65% pass completion for Indy. And that is all I have for the Indy 11 game. What do you have, Verde?
So I before I even go for the second half, I want to say something I wish I told you guys in the group chat. This was the first game that we actually played in league play. We played in the Soccer Pacific Stadium because Jacksonville was a multi-sport complex. It had many lines and stuff, track around it. Then we went to Brooklyn. Then we played Brooklyn, Birmingham, which is a college football stadium that should hold 40,000, but only gets 200 fans, if that, a game. And then we played at Brooklyn, which is a baseball stadium. So this was the first time we played an actual Soccer Pacific Stadium, which was nice for the players. And that was Chris Straw's first game in the USL. He did play in the Motown games, so first USLC debut for him. Off the bench, I would like to say that too. Um, the wind definitely played a factor a lot more in the second half because Dick was trying to clear the ball off the line, and it would just blow right towards back of him. So the wind was playing a factor to us that half. And it was nice to see Seattle do what Seattle used to do. When we scored a goal, he ran across a pitch himself with the team. He had been yet done it this season. That was the first time he done it this season and run across the pitch, which he should have. Which I don't blame him. You want 89-minute goal when time equalize the goal. No matter what league where you are, you're running this up with your team. You know what?
For a draw, considering kind of what our expectations have been this year, this was a really good game. Like, obviously, I wish we had gotten the 3 points. There are a lot of things that could have been better, but I saw a lot of very positive things out of the team. And just because of the manner of the goal we scored at the end, like I mean, this is kind of a common thing. When another team scores late to equalize, a draw feels like a loss. We scored late. This draw felt like a win. Home opener, pretty exciting game overall. Like I said, we saw some things we wanted to see. I don't think it was a negative at all. I don't think it was a negative experience. My hands are still in a little bit of pain for playing the drums the whole time, but it was nice to be back out there. It was nice to see the team looking pretty good, and it was nice to eat some steak in the parking lot. So I guess that's my takeaway from the home opener.
The player of the month, and we asked you guys on the podcast. So results for player of the month from people that commented on it on our Instagram is Arturo Dispe. That is the winner of the player of the month. For that, we asked the fans. We'll give our three inputs in a second, but we had three votes for Dispe, one for Siaha. So personally, my player of the month, I can't lie, was Anthony Siaha. That was my player of the game. I'm sorry, not player of the game, player of the month. He had 10 saves against Brooklyn, and he had, what is it, two shutouts. I think that's pretty good. Arturo Dispe is a really big shout. It could go either way. I think there's only two options. It's Arturo Dispe and it's Anthony Siaha. Augie Williams only scored 2 goals, but he missed a penalty. He could have three, so he could have definitely been a shout. But it's between two players. It's Anthony Siaha or Arturo Dispe. Who's your player of the month, Verde?
I would have to do it a new guy actually, Coffee. For him, how much we gave him bad rep. Say how we don't need Coffee, we want Jack. So he showed up well coming in this league and performed every game well. And made a difference. He's may not have played a month, but the newcomer of the month. If we're not to play the month for him, newcomer of the month, we definitely would be him.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna have to agree with Nick. I think Anthony Siaha has to be player of the month. I mean, I really can't recall any goals that were due to goalkeeper error. It was either just something that, sometimes you just can't save it, and that's just how it is. And he's been extremely reliable. He's had some really incredible saves. He's definitely saved us, at least once this season, as you mentioned, Nick. I just think he's showing us every week why he is the best goalkeeper in the league. I believe, and I think a lot of others do as well. So I think it does have to be him, even though I know we've had player of the games where I've disagreed about him being the guy for player of the game. I think as a whole over the past month, I think it has to be him.
Yeah, and also I forgot to say this during the indie game. I did say we can get an own goal of one of my predictions, so I was also half correct as well.
So now we're moving on to the preview of the Rhode Island FC game in the U.S. Open Cup. First, I'll give my thoughts on it, and then I'll let you two comment on it. So we did draw Rhode Island in this game. We talked about it last podcast, really quick for this game, but we're gonna basically. I really don't like this draw, and not because it's a tough opponent in the second round of the U.S. Open Cup, mainly because I wanted to face Vermont. I wanted to face another USL one team. And honestly, I want the prize money. Believe it or not, the last team in the USL Cup, I'm sorry, in the US Open Cup, they get $50,000. I didn't know that. $50,000 isn't a lot, but for a smaller club like us, it is. So That being said, I wanted us to draw Rhode Island in the next round, and honestly, I really wanted to face Vermont Green. I felt like that would have been a really nice game to see. I mean, I really loved last year facing Portland, even though we lost. Portland's atmosphere is fucking phenomenal, and now Rhode Island. I have a feeling that in this game, lineups wise, and my prediction, honestly, I feel like we're gonna lose this game, and I'll tell you why. I have a feeling that we're gonna play a similar lineup to what we did against Motown. I think Enzo is gonna play as a goalie. I don't think Siaha is gonna play, and I personally think that it's not gonna be a full lineup. I think we should focus on Miami. I don't think we. I understand it's a rivalry, but at the same time, I really think that if we want to make a big push this year in standings, I think we should focus on Miami, especially because Miami's looking really good this year. I don't think it's gonna be a if we do win, probably on penalties. But who knows? Maybe Rhode Island will also play a B team. Who knows what will happen? I can't guess this lineup at all, but it's we'll see what happens. What are your thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to predict. I think we probably will play. I don't know if we'll go with as young of a team as against Motown, but I think we'll definitely play like the entire bench, for the most part. I think definitely, we will not see Anthony Siaha in that game, barring like injury or something. I hate to agree with you. I'm not super confident in it because I don't know if they have as much motivation to save their players for the weekend as we do. Like I feel like we're really, really invested in the league this year because of the disappointment that came at the end of last season. And I think for them, honestly, I don't know if they're I don't think their expectations are the same as ours. So I think to them, a rivalry win, I can't speak. A rivalry win is much more valuable. I do have to say, as did you, I'm very disappointed with the draw. It seems like they're very intentionally. This draw could not be more. This draw in quotations could not be more rigged than it is. They're trying to choose every possible like rivalry type game and put them together. I mean, just having like Vermont play Portland in the first round kind of seems like that seemed intentional. It's like a big storyline. They're having Louisville play Lexington in this round, and they're having us play Rhode Island in this round. You can't tell me that this all happened by chance. I mean, there's got to be more examples of it too. It's very frustrating. They're pushing this rivalry so hard, but the problem is that we're gonna play them four times at least four times, potentially one more, in competitive matches this year. That waters it down so much. Four times in competitive matches plus a friendly, five times this year for sure. We will play Rhode Island. How are you gonna build up any real rivalry when you're playing each other that often?
Yeah,
There's no
I
way to do something exciting and new and special each game. There's no way. I think it's stupid. I mean, they're pushing it so hard to the point where it's just gonna ruin it. It's just gonna, whatever. I don't like them. I don't even need this rivalry. It's like there's the league and even U.S. soccer teams now have become invested in it. But I think it's kind of like a self-destructive thing right now. It's gonna become one of these.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because even before we even played the first game in this derby, the league, the league already the league named the derby for us. We didn't ask the supporters or anything. We the fans, we even have to make the derby correct, which we're arguing to for Brooklyn. You know, it's gonna be a derby over time. You know, but we have to build it up correctly. You know.
I understand where both of you guys are coming from. So that being said, I'm good to move on to the review of the Miami game because we're gonna review Miami. Do you guys
Yeah,
have
which
anything
we
else to add?
I'll mention by Miami. They do have a former player of us, Tulu. Tulu still plays for Miami.
Yes, he does. So in the Miami game, hopefully we can come out with a win. I would really prefer a win here. Miami actually is playing pretty well this year. Believe it or not, Miami is playing quite well. They have two wins, a tie, and a loss. And that one loss is against Louisville. That tie is against Loudoun 0-0. Then they beat Sporting Jacks 4-2. And they actually just beat Rhode Island 2-1. So they're sitting with 7 points right now. they're actually right behind us. We're sitting at 8 points. They're sitting at 7 points. This is kind of a standing
But
wise game. You know, we're 4 games into the season, 3 games into the season where the points are starting to really matter. Sorry, and yeah, we'll see what happens. And yeah, I'm expecting a little bit different lineup. I'm hoping Carriaga comes back. I hope Sadat starts again. I hope Augie is going to play. And Siaha will probably start. I really want TJ Prestis to come into this game. I think Dispe should play. And I'll even be fair. Jordan Scarlett is going to play. I definitely want to play Beverly Macangila. And hopefully Barry Coffey will be on the bench. Hopefully he'll be better. But that's Miami game. I'm gonna say shutout, but I'm gonna say a 1-0 win. I'm not thinking we're gonna score a lot, especially with Miami this year. But they have conceded quite a bit of goals. So we'll see what happens.
I'm curious to see what happens because their two wins are against two teams that look pretty underwhelming this year. So it's hard to say their talent level, but you could say the same thing about us. So I can't be too critical of that. I think last year they had a similar start where they had, they brought in an entire team of, I think Argentinians, if I remember, and they looked pretty good at the start, and then they fell apart again. So we'll see what happens with that. It'll be another interesting test to play a more established team again because we struggled a bit against Indy. Although I still think we should have won that game. I think we were the better team, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think we're going to win, but I think it's going to be 2-1. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet, unfortunately. Just to make me upset. But that's my prediction for Miami.
let me just go quickly through the standings while I feel fast. So right now, top of the league is Louisville with 12 points, and Tampa in second with 9. Hartford, us is in third with 8. Miami is 7. Four for 7 with points. Charleston 6 points in fifth. Detroit 6 points. Pittsburgh 6 points. Indy 4 points. Brooklyn 3. Birmingham, Loudoun, Rhode Island, and Sporting Jacks with all 1 point. So like the top, I think Sean said it. The league's gonna be more competitive at the top of the table, and looking at competitive the points are, yeah, the second, third, and fourth, and fifth through seventh seeds are within 1 point of each other. So very competitive. As either I think you said it, Sean.
Yeah, they've conceded 7 goals this year in 4 games. That's quite a bit. We've only conceded 3 goals in 4 games, and we've scored 7 goals in 4 games. So have Miami, actually. They've also scored 7 goals in 4 games. So hopefully we can score and not concede. I'm saying 1-0, but if we 2-1, a win is a win. A win is a win. I'm going to be happy with a win. I want 1-0. I want a shutout, definitely. But yeah, let's see. Go ahead.
The last two times that we went to Miami, we won. September 14th, 2024, we won 3-0 in Miami, and then last September, we usually seem to put them away in September. The last 2 years, last season we put them September 6th, we won 1-0 in Miami thanks to Jack putting on 2 goals at the 54th minute. So right now we played well there. It seems like.
Well, that game last year in September was a bit of a stinker, if I remember. I remember us being pretty terrible, but we came away with the win. That's all that matters. Hopefully, we can go again and come away with another win.
We're running out of time today, guys, but let's get a wrap up. I have a good wrap up. So what's our identity this year? What would you say Hartford's identity is this season? In 5 games in the season and 5 games unbeaten, what is our identity? John, you start.
That's Hartford feels organized this year. Like we feel organized, we feel put together, and it feels. I don't want to say consistent because we've had some tough second halves, but as far as the flow of play goes, we're much more consistent in the things we're trying to do, and I think that's kind of a good vibe to have about you.
Yeah, I do actually have to say it does feel different, even though we kind of play similar to how we did last year, counterattacking wise. But like we just talked about earlier with the indie game, we didn't play really counterattacking. Hartford does feel way more organized and it feels way more disciplined. Doesn't feel like as many stupid yellow cards that we get. And personally, it feels I'm way more confident now in this team than I was in the last year and even 2 years ago in the beginning of the season. I'm extremely confident, and I think we're going to really start putting up performances. I think our first big test, and this is not to count Miami out whatsoever, but I think our real first big test is going to be El Paso, who's also having a really good year this year, and then we got Loudoun, and then we have Rhode Island, and then we have Detroit. I think the month of April is going to be a tough month. That'll be honestly the answer to your question, Bozzy. At the end of April, you can ask that question again and see what exactly is
Um,
our identity, what's happening, because that's my response. Wait till the end of April.
for me, I'll answer my own question. I feel like we're organized, more resilient. So we fight the battle to get we point as we saw in the indie game. Like in comparison to Yukon Huskies, the men basketball team, they won a game this weekend. Connecticut Sport was perfect. The women's won. Connect Hartford won. We got a point. We didn't win. We got a point. Last second of the game, last minute before stoppage time, and then UConn men, same thing. Last minute, 4 seconds in the clock, they hit a three to win a game. So like it's like scripted, like late goal to win a game or for both teams. You know.
All right, guys, that's all I have for the podcast. Vamos Hartford.
Almost Hartford. Let's keep the streak going. 5 games undefeated. There's only two other teams in the East. Total of 6 teams undefeated, and we're one of the 6 teams undefeated in league play this year.
Vamos Hartford. Hopefully, we'll be back to you next week with news of 2 more wins. As always, thank you for watching. Cookies will be coming soon, and you're owed one if you've made it to that point. Thank you very much. Have a good one.